I'm sitting on a skateboard. I'm gonna try not to like rock back and forth because you guys can't see it, so I'm just gonna look like I'm like a weird orb, but just like floating around. Anyways, this is a video I've been thinking about making for quite some time, but I don't really know like what the right way to approach it is. I have videos on this channel from like around a year ago that are like about modeling, like how to start modeling, how to be an alternative model, that kind of thing, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit weird about having those up on my channel because I'm not really trying to be an alternative model anymore. It's complicated because I do still model like for fun. Like I'll make my boyfriend take pictures of me, like I'll get all dressed up and make him take pictures. If someone like hits me up for like a good opportunity, I will take it. Some talented photographer wants to collaborate with me, I will do it, but my earring just fell out. But I'm not really like trying to be a model, nor do I consider myself a model. It's just kind of something I do every now and then, but it's not really like something I care about too much anymore. And I kind of wanted to address that because I kind of started this channel with the idea of being like an alternative modeling YouTube channel. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Morgan Joyce is, but that was kind of a YouTuber that when I started my own channel, was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna be like her. Something like that is gonna be my channel, but like, it's clearly not. So I don't know. I wanted to kind of like talk about it a little bit, I guess, if you guys care. I did not write any sort of notes for this video. This is going to be kind of a ramble. I'm going to try to edit this in a way that sounds like normal, but it might be like really rambly and weird. Basically, so when I started modeling, I would kind of just like take whatever opportunity came at me, like just to get as much experience as I possibly could. I would say yes to most people who asked me to collaborate unless like there was something like really off about them that I just like knew would be a bad situation. I would take like most opportunities. They always say like always bring someone with you to a shoot, right? Like always never go to a photo shoot by yourself as a model, especially as a female model. Unfortunately, like that's just the reality of the situation. Like it's more dangerous for us out there. Don't go alone. They always say like always bring someone with you just to be safe no matter what. Well, here's the thing about that. When I started modeling, the only person I knew, like the only person I was close to in the state that I lived was my boyfriend, and he worked 9 to 5 most days a week. He would have like 2 days off, right? And I was in school at the time, so I think if I'm remembering correctly, one of our days overlapped, so we only really had one day together, one full day out of the week together. And I wasn't about to waste one of those days being like, making him come with me to a job, you know what I mean? Like, we wanted to have fun on those days. We wanted to go on long drives, go find like ghost towns or nature places and stuff. Like, I wasn't gonna work on like a day that was our one day for fun, right? So, basically I would always go alone to photo shoots, like 100% of the time. And that is not really okay, like that's dangerous, but that was my only option if I wanted to model. And I know that there are other models out there that also do this, and I think they should be careful. So it's pretty much been that situation ever since I started modeling. Nothing's really changed. I mean, if you use common sense, you can kind of tell like if someone's like more legit and professional based on like how they message you, based on their portfolio, their website, whatever. Like you can kind of get a vibe for it, and sometimes you can pretty much tell that this is going to be like a legit professional normal shoot. But sometimes when you're working with someone who's just like wants to pay you and they want to expand their own portfolio and they just want to like, I'll pay you whatever your rate is, just model for whatever pictures I want. That's always a risk. I've been in some situations like that where it was totally fine, like the person was so sweet, so respectful, so nice, like everything went very smoothly, and some situations where the person was pretty creepy. Like, it's always a gamble, and eventually I just got tired of taking that gamble, because even if a situation is very safe, when you put yourself in a situation like that you know could potentially be dangerous, it's very emotionally exhausting, if that makes sense. Like, you're worrying the whole time about something potentially bad happening, and you're planning exit strategies, like, maybe that's just me because I'm kind of a paranoid person, and someone who's constantly on edge. Hello, I have anxiety, nice to meet you. Maybe that's just me, but it became very, very emotionally exhausting for me to go to shoots, even if everything turned out to be fine, because I was like worrying the whole time, you know what I mean? That worry only happens for those types of shoots, as I said, the type where it's just like some random dude messaging you wanting to expand their portfolio and they're willing to pay you, and usually I would take those jobs because I needed money. And unfortunately, maybe there's something that I'm doing wrong, but that request is the most common request I get. Like, I very rarely get more professional opportunities. I've only had like a handful of like really of shoots that were like for a certain thing, like for a clothing company or for a specific project or like something like that. That was more like legit, I guess, as opposed to like a dude who wants to start becoming a photographer. And as I said, I'm not completely done with modeling. I'm still down to take those more professional projects as they come up, but it's very rare for me that I get requests like that. Yeah, to be honest, I'm done meeting up with random people just to get paid. Like, eventually I just was like, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. Even if the pictures might turn out cool, it's just not really worth it. Like, it's not worth the stress. I have anxiety, as I said, so it's really, really exhausting to do stuff like that, so I'm not really doing that anymore. I collaborate every once in a while, especially like with people I've collaborated with before. I like will meet up with them, and that's totally fine, that's totally safe, because I know them and stuff like that, but like, I'm not gonna like meet up with some random person who sent me a message on Model Mayhem or something like that. And it gets a little bit dicey when you're someone who's willing to pose nude or like pose in more like sexy ways, I guess, like lingerie, nude, stuff like that. It gets a little dicey because obviously, like, if you're going to meet up with a random person to do pictures like that, there's a pretty good chance that their intentions are a little bit creepy. That's definitely not everybody, because I've been in situations where that was the case. Like, it was a very like sexy photo shoot, but the photographer was like so professional and nice, so I don't want to generalize, but like, I think there's guys out there who want to get into photography to, I don't know, maybe because they just want to be around naked girls doing like sexy poses, and like they're not actually that passionate about photography. Maybe that's just speculation, but I feel like that's probably true, because I don't know, some of these people are bad news. It's all a spectrum too. It's funny, like, there's some really, really professional good photographers, there's some like absolute creeps, trash can, and then everyone else is just like in the middle. It's not like one or the other, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's on that spectrum somewhere. I've only met a few that are like on the ends of the spectrum, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, basically I'm not actively trying to model unless like a really nice, good opportunity comes rolling my way. I will take it and I will model for fun. But I'm not like trying to be a model. I'm not trying to get as many pictures as possible. I'm not trying to get as much experience as possible. Not trying to work with as many people as possible, which is like, all those things are probably what you should do if you're like really serious about modeling and you're like trying really hard to make it in the industry, but that's not the case for me anymore. So I'm just like taking it easy, putting my mental health first and my safety first too, I guess. And also, like, I'm very selective with which photographers I'm willing to do like more like sexy shoots with. And I think it's kind of dicey when I have to like explain that to every photographer who asks me questions about working with them, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just tired of explaining myself Like,
Actually, sorry, I don't do nudes unless, like, they're for a specific project with, like, a photographer that I know and trust.
I know you see my nudes around, but I won't do them with you unless you're, like, a certain person. Like, I don't know how to, like, keep explaining that, and, like, you might think that's weird. You might be like, why are you so picky about it? But I just am. Like, it's my body. Like, I have the right to, like, pick and choose who I want to show it to and in what situation I want to show it to people. Like, I don't need, like, a set rule, and neither do you, by the way, if you're, like, a model or trying to be a model. Just a reminder to you. There was this photographer I met through burlesque. If you don't know, I dabbled a little bit in burlesque, like, sometime in 2018 or 2019. I think it was 2018. I did a burlesque show. I met a photographer through that, and I ended up taking pictures with him much later, and he ended up taking my pictures that went on suicidegirls.com. I trusted him. I had met him before, you know, like, yeah, I felt good in that environment. And then, like, after I post one of my Suicide Girl pictures on my Instagram to, like, promote my Suicide Girl content, I have photographers in the DMs being like, do you want to do, like, a nude shoot? And I'm just like, I mean, not really. Like, I don't know you. I don't know. I'm just tired of explaining that, because honestly, like, that type of request is the one that I would get the most. Like, I wouldn't get that many, like, hey, let's do a fully clothed shoot just, like, around town. Like, that's something that I very rarely get. And I'm just tired of saying no, I guess. I'm just, like, tired of dealing with people, dealing with strangers, dealing with possible creeps, being nervous, just, like, tired of all of it. So I just, like, don't really do it that much anymore. And I guess, like, when I was trying really hard to be a model, also, I was following a ton of other alternative models on Instagram and, like, constantly checking in and seeing what they were doing and their pictures and stuff, and, like, my self-esteem was at the lowest that it had been in, like, a pretty long time. It's just hard. Like, this is a me problem. This is a problem that might be unique to me, but I would compare myself to, like, every other model, like, and just constantly feeling really bad about myself and bad about my pictures and my modeling abilities and my appearance and just, like, everything, just feeling shitty. And that's not something I need in my life. Like, I don't want to feel like that. So I don't really check other models' pictures that much anymore. I don't scroll through Instagram anymore, because it just hurts me. So, and, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but alternative models, like, especially ones who are, like, signed to an alternative modeling agency, they have a specific look that I just don't really have. Like, you would think with the word alternative model there would be, like, a lot of different looks that could fit in there, but it kind of seems like if you want to be, like, a professional model, like a signed model, it kind of seems like you should be head to toe tattooed, like, super hourglass body, like, ultra sexy, and I'm very much not that. I mean, I would be very heavily tattooed if I had the money and time to just do that right now, because that is something that I want, but having their body type is not necessarily something that I want. I mean, I don't want to speculate for all of them. I mean, some of them are open about the fact that they've had, you know, work done, like they've had a boob job or whatever, and I've never wanted one of those until I was trying to model. I had the thought for a second. I was like, wait, should I, like, get some work done to try to look a certain way? And, like, no. The answer is no, because the only reason I would ever do that is for modeling. Like, that's not something I want in my personal life. So that's a dangerous mentality. I don't know if you guys know the term imposter syndrome. If you don't, I'll just put a quick thing on the screen. I have a lot of different hobbies and creative outlets, and the thing that I always felt the strongest imposter syndrome, like I never did with anything else, was always modeling. Like, I just see myself and then I see other models and I just feel like, what is this 12-year-old boy doing trying to model? Like, I feel so out of place in that whole world. I feel like I look nothing like other models. I just, like, have no business trying to model. That's kind of how it feels. Whether you agree or disagree with that, I just, like, that's just how it feels. And of course, as I said, that's a me problem. That's not a problem with the modeling industry, but it was getting to me. So I kind of got sick of it. I would rather do something else with my life than do that. I mean, I'm gonna keep modeling for fun, to have like new cool pictures to post on Instagram or whatever, but it's not something that I care to make a career out of, at least as of now. I guess I just want to put this out there because, like, I know I have old videos that say, like, how to be a model and stuff, and, like, I don't really model anymore, so it feels kind of ingenuine. I don't know if I'm going to keep those videos up or not, but I don't have any chance to be signed to an agency, like, among all of, like, have you seen the type of people that are signed? Like, I don't really fit in anywhere. Like, I can't be a traditional model because, I mean, I like to look weird, obviously, but even if I changed my hair and, like, took out my piercings, I'm not, like, ultra skinny, at least not by, like, modeling standards. I know that I'm a thin person, but I'm not, like, modeling skinny, if that makes sense, and I do have, like, some tattoos, so I think I have enough to not be a traditional model. In terms of alternative modeling, I'm not, like, alternative enough. I don't have enough tattoos. I'm not, like, sexy enough. I'm not curvy enough. My camera cut off, but what I was saying was, basically, it was just kind of a dead end for me, like a dead end career, because, like, I'm not gonna be signed, so my only option basically is to just keep doing photo shoots and keep posting pictures and just, like, keep modeling and building my portfolio. But as I said, I don't really want to do that anymore. Like, I'm sick of meeting up with random photographers. And also something I forgot to even mention was I've been in a lot of situations where I do a shoot and I never get the photos back, which is fine if the person paid me, but if we're doing a trade for print or a test shoot, as I've heard other models call it, which is where, like, neither person pays each other, you're just collaborating, the photographer should send you the pictures. Like, you should get the pictures because you spent time, you put together an outfit, you probably spent gas money to go there, like, you did your makeup. I've been in more than one situation like that where I never got the pictures. Like, it's been years and I just still don't have the pictures, and that really sucks. Like, that's really frustrating. The ones that I'm thinking of right now, I remember I think I drove like a couple hours for each of those. So that really sucks. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. It kind of feels good to get that off my chest because that's kind of been like a thing that I just haven't acknowledged in a while. Yeah, I don't really model much anymore. And that's why. I have some interesting stories of, like, photographers being weird that I could tell on here, if you guys are interested in that. I am hesitant because I don't really like exposing people, but also, like, most of them are funny, even if, like, they're kind of creepy. They're just, like, a funny story to tell. One of them was, like, borderline traumatic, so I don't know if I'll tell that one because it's not, like, something I really want to relive. But if you guys want me to tell, like, weird photographer stories, I could totally do that. I think that is it. I'm going to do a song recommendation of the day because I've been forgetting to do that lately, and I said I would do it every video. Song recommendation of the day is going to be Wildfire by Fishnark. Okay, you guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and if you want to see my face again, even though this channel is a huge mess and you never know what you're gonna get with it. Thanks everyone for watching and subscribing and whatever else. Okay, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.